Hey, what's up, guys? It's Manic with Manic Conspiracies here. Today, this video, we're going to be talking about Project MKUltra, which was a top secret CIA project in which the agency conducted hundreds of experiments, sometimes unwillingly, on citizens to assess the potential use of LSD and other drugs for mind control, information gathering, and psychological torture. Now, they said that this was supposedly so that they could get into the minds of their enemies in the military and all this and that, but I personally think it's more than that. I think they wanted to get the entire something that they could use on every single person. um, so Project MKUltra lasted from 1953 until 1973. That's insane. How did it last so long? Like, who let this happen? So it was during the Cold War. That was another big fact on MKUltra. It was during the Cold War. The government feared that the Soviet, Chinese, and North Korean agents were using mind control to brainwash U.S. prisoners of war in Korea. In response to that, the CIA approved Project MKUltra in 1953. The covert operation aimed to develop techniques that could be used against Soviet bloc enemies to control human behavior with drugs and other psychological manipulators. The program involved more than 150 human experiments involving psychedelic drugs, paralytics, and electroshock therapy. Sometimes the test subjects knew they were participating in the study, but at other times they had no idea, even when the hallucinogens started taking effect. So can you imagine not knowing, and then all of a sudden you're hallucinating shit, and you're just like, what the fuck, am I dying? Where, like, what could be going through your head? Many of the tests were conducted at universities, hospitals, or prisons in the United States and Canada. Most of these took place between 1953 and 1964, but it's not clear how many people were involved in the tests. The agency kept notoriously poor records and destroyed most MKUltra documents when the program was officially halted in 1973. Now, to me, the fact that they destroyed all the documents, that makes me think, okay, what are you guys hiding? Like, what didn't you want the public to see? Did you figure out how to do mind control and psychological torture, and they probably did. I mean, that's a long time to do experiments and have scientific research and not get anything from it. So the CIA began to experiment with LSD. Under the direction of agency chemist and poison expert Sidney Gottlieb. I don't know. Like I say in all my videos, I probably butchered the name. Don't be mad. He believed the agency could harness the drug's mind-altering properties for brainwashing and psychological torture. Under the auspices of Project MKUltra, the CIA began to fund studies at Columbia University, Stanford University, and other colleges on the effects of the drug. After a series of tests, the drug was deemed too unpredictable for use in counterintelligence. MKUltra also included experiments with MDMA, heroin, methamphetamine, and magic mushrooms. That's insane to me. Wow. They were literally trying to use, and what if that is why some of these drugs are illegal? I'm not saying, heroin and shit, because I'm totally against that, but psychedelics like magic mushrooms, LSD, stuff like that, maybe they figured out that even though it was unpredictable, it was still able to. Now, there was Operation Midnight Climax, was an MKUltra project in which government employed lured unsuspecting men to CIA safe houses where drug experiments take place. The CIA dosed the men with LSD and then, while at times drinking cocktails behind a two-way mirror, watched the drug's effects on the men's behavior. Recording devices were installed in the prostitutes' room disguised as electrical outlets. So they were spying on these people as well, doing a lot of shady shit. Most of the Operation Midnight Climax experiments took place in San Francisco, California, and in New York City. The program had little oversight, and the CIA agents involved admitted that a freewheeling party-like atmosphere prevailed. An agent named George White wrote to the Sydney guy in 1971. Of course, I was a very minor missionary, actually a heretic, but I toiled wholeheartedly in the vineyards because it was fun, fun, fun. Where else could a red-blooded American boy lie, kill, and cheat, steal, deceive, rape, and pillage with the sanction and blessing of all highest? So that's just creepy as fuck. So Frank Olson was a scientist who worked for the CIA. At a 1953 CIA retreat, he accidentally drank a cocktail that had been secretly spiked with LSD. Secretly spiked, I think it was probably fucking planned. It's the government we're talking about. A few days later, Olson tumbled to his death from the window of a New York City hotel room in an alleged suicide, which is a little bit weird to me because, first, his drink spiked with LSD, and then he, 3 days later, wants to kill himself, and he kills himself. Now, I do know that LSD can cause some suicidal symptoms, stuff like that, so it's not too far-fetched, but the whole thing with the fact that Project MKUltra is kind of shady in itself, that's a little weird to me. The family of Frank Olson decided to have a second autopsy performed in 1994. A forensic team found injuries on the body that had likely occurred before the fall. The findings sparked conspiracy theories that Olson's might have been assassinated by the CIA, which honestly kind of makes sense. I mean, I don't know too much about Frank Olson, but you know, if the CIA wanted him to die, he would. And if the second autopsy came back and said, hey, there were some marks and some bruises from the first, this is before he fell, well, that seems foul play right there. So his family was awarded a settlement of $750,000. So that's good. They also got a personal apology from the president. So there was a church committee too, and a New York Times journalist had published a story on how the CIA had conducted non-consensual drug experiments and illegal spying operations on U.S. citizens. His report started the lengthy process of bringing long-suppressed details about MKUltra to light. The following year, President Ford, in the wake of the Watergate scandal and amid growing distrust of the U.S. government, set up the United States President's Commission on CIA activities within the United States to investigate illegal CIA activities, including Project MKUltra and other experiments on suspecting citizens. So basically, the whole project was technically illegal. So luckily, you know, President Ford actually stood up and did something and found out. The Church Committee delved into plots to assassinate foreign leaders, including Cuban dictator Fidel Castro and Congolese independence leader Patrice Lumumba. It has also uncovered thousands of documents related to MKUltra. These revelations reunited in Ford's 1976 executive order on intelligence activities that prohibited experimentation with drugs on human subjects, except with the informed consent in writing and witnessed by a disinterested party of each such human subject. So that's pretty much why it was illegal as well. It's because they were doing people who didn't even know they were being drugged, and that's very sad. So basically, MKUltra did come to a stop, but there were hundreds of people affected, and we will never know what they found. We will never know for sure. Did they create and figure out mind control? Are we under mind control right now? We don't know. These are all questions that we need to continue to ask ourselves until we can find the truth. So that was my video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe. Comment down below if you have any other CIA things you want me to talk about, or any other videos, really. And let me know your thoughts on Project MKUltra and how you think about it. So have a great day. Peace out, guys.